everyone, and welcome to Chit Chat with Cass. My name is Cassie, and welcome to my podcast. This is my first episode of this podcast series, so welcome everyone. I do want to thank each and every one of you that commented or let me know and supported this idea of me creating a podcast. Thank you, lovelies. I greatly appreciate it. So let's dive right in. So who am I? Well, most people listening to this podcast, they're going to know me from YouTube. I am a YouTuber, if you will. I have my main channel, which is called Calming Escape, and that is an ASMR channel. It's dedicated to relaxation, anxiety relief, and kind of helping people to sleep. It's kind of one of the weird genres of YouTube, if you will. But I proudly call myself an ASMR artist, and I put my heart and soul into that Calming Escape channel. Then we also have my second channel, which is CanaryCryCreations, which I like to call my fun channel. I don't know why. I post lots of different things there, like I do vlogs, reviews, or other series, just where I can kind of let my creativity go crazy, whether that be like topics that I like or, little film shorts, just whatever I feel like doing in my creative bubble. But beyond YouTube, who am I? Well, I guess a lot of things. I'm a photographer, a writer, a movie lover, and honestly probably a million other things that I'm totally forgetting to mention, but all of which I hope will help influence topics and discussions within this podcast. I also live in the beautiful Pacific Northwest of the United States, and I hold nature and hiking very close to my heart. If you are a longtime subscriber, viewer, or friend of mine, you probably know all these things through my videos or my vlogs or, other content, but I hope to share interesting topics and discussion on a variety of different things through this podcast. So why Chit Chat with Cass? Well, I want this podcast to kind of feel like a conversation with you guys, or more like for you guys to feel like you're listening to a friend ramble on. So many of my amazing subscribers seem to love when I share my rambles or opinions or stories, and I think this is a really great platform to do this. I've been toying with the idea of doing a podcast for so long, and a lot of you said that you were just super interested in hearing different topics from me, so I'm very excited to dive into this. Obviously this is just an introduction episode, but I look forward to all the different topics that I would love to discuss on this podcast with you guys. So you are listening to this podcast on one of three places. You're either listening on my second YouTube channel, CanaryCryCreations. Hello, lovely subscribers. Or you are listening to this podcast on SoundCloud, or possibly iTunes, if I can get Apple to properly process everything. I will be posting each episode to each one of these locations so that basically, I wanted to give everyone an option. I didn't know how people like to listen to podcasts. I am new to the podcast world, but I listen to podcasts on SoundCloud, on YouTube, and on iTunes. So I figured that I would give my viewers or listeners the same type of options depending on what works best for you guys. So you guys can check out those locations and see which works best for you. I know everyone prefers different platforms, and I just want to kind of cater to everyone, I guess. No matter where you guys are listening, welcome. And I really do hope you guys will continue to enjoy this podcast. Like I said, this episode is really kind of an introduction and a brief look at what you can expect from this podcast. I work on so many different projects, if you know me. I often say my mind just never stops working. Whether that be with ASMR video ideas or film shorts for my second channel. I'm always thinking of new ideas, and I guess this is another way I've been wanting to create for a while, I do laugh at myself sometimes, honestly, because I'm always wanting to create new things and share bits of projects, but I honestly can't help myself, and I'm constantly working on different things, but it's what I enjoy doing, so, I can't really stop. And I feel like this podcast will be a really great mix of all of my projects together, or, just a great new platform that I can discover. So each episode will be different, as I have a lot of different ideas roaming in my head about what I could do with this podcast. And I'm also going to be taking topic suggestions from my subscribers, so you can look forward to that. I'm also going to be having guests on this podcast, hopefully, to just talk about some of those ideas I have in my head, some of my passions, or, some of my favorite things, Star Wars movies, things like that. I think that should be super fun, especially if I can get some guests on this podcast. My ideas for this podcast, like I said, it's like a big mix of things, having to do with life experiences or struggles or advice for you guys. Overall fun topics, of course, as well. I would love to just have a discussion about different topics that I think you guys would enjoy. And then also, because I take my subscribers' comments really to heart, I would love to feature topics or discussions that you guys want me to chat about as well. I can get quite passionate about things I love, so I hope to share that entertaining bit of myself with you all. As many of you know, or if you're new to my channel or my content, you might not know, there are different sides to me. Not to say I have split personalities, but we have the relaxing ASMR artist, a person who makes, ASMR videos to help people relax, and it's, so we have that side to me, of course. And then we have my my vlogger side, where I share little pieces of my life, or onto my nerdy side of myself, where I fangirl over new Star Wars trailers, new movies coming out, or I binge my favorite TV series. So although there is a great mix to myself, as there is with everyone, I do hope to include every aspect of it within this podcast. And looking over the list of ideas that I'm kind of toying with right now, I think it's going to touch base on a lot of different things that, connect the dots to the different parts of my life. My mind has been going a little bit crazy with ideas, so I wanted to dive in and do this introduction episode and just give it a shot and see how you guys react to the first little bit. And of course, maybe it will get a little bit more interesting as we dive in to further podcast topics. On my ASMR channel, Calming Escape, I do have a series called Coffee with Cass, and that's kind of where I sit down and chat with you guys, chat with my viewers, and I love doing that series. It won't be stopping, but this podcast will be a little different. It's not geared toward ASMR. As you can hear, my voice is not soft-spoken or whispered, and it might go a little loud or crazy, passionate, if it's an exciting topic. It just wasn't geared to be a relaxing podcast, although some people tell me that my regular voice is relaxing as well. I guess it'll just be personal preference, but I'll still have that Coffee with Cass series on Calming Escape, and this podcast, as I said, is just a new platform for me to explore and try different things with you guys. Like I said, I have already started a list of topics I want to feature on episodes of this podcast, as well as asking those potential guests if they would be interested in coming by and chatting with me. Fingers crossed that will work out, because I think that having some guests on this podcast would be super interesting as well. That's something that I don't really do on my ASMR channel or my second channel. Most of the time it's just me. So if I could feature some guests on this podcast, I think that would be super fun. I think it would be, at least. It would be entertaining for me, so hopefully it would be entertaining for you guys as well. Whether the topic is fun or serious or crazy, I do hope you guys will enjoy this. I'm kind of already having a lot of fun with it. It's different for me, because I'm always in front of the camera being a YouTuber, and this is just focused purely on the conversation, because it's just audio. So I hope that you guys will enjoy that aspect. I keep saying that, but I am very excited to dive into the different topics and everything, and I'm looking forward to hearing you guys' feedback. As I said at the beginning, I do appreciate those of you that took the time to tell me that you would be interested in hearing a podcast from me. That's always greatly appreciated. I really don't know if I say it enough. I appreciate my viewers and my subscribers' feedback so much. It can be just a shining bright star of my day, as corny as that sounds. Hearing comments or messages from you guys, or when I post questions to you, actually getting feedback is just means so much to me, and kind of directs me with how I should go with certain projects and everything. And like I said, I'm totally new to the podcast world, so we will just go with it, go with the flow, if you will, and see where it takes us. Right now I'm not entirely sure what the next episode is going to be. We obviously have this introduction episode, and then I will look over my ideas and like kind of see which topic I'm gravitating towards, and then that will be episode 2. But as always, you guys can leave suggestions for topics for this podcast series as well. So yes, hello and welcome to Chit Chat with Cass. I do hope you're looking forward to all these future episodes I would love to make for you guys. The rest of the episodes will of course be longer than this when we're focusing purely on like a topic instead of just an introduction to what you can expect from this podcast. As I said, if you have any topics or questions, things you want me to discuss on this podcast, feel free to let me know. You can leave comments or message me on social media platforms. That's like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I try and read all your messages and comments, so I will see it, and just be sure to let me know that you want it to be like a podcast topic, and not like a regular YouTube or ASMR for that matter. I love having a conversation with my viewers, subscribers, listeners, whatever you guys, I don't know what to call you guys, just my lovelies. So as always, feel free to share those topics or comments with me, because I love them all, as I said. So, please remember to follow or subscribe for future episodes of this podcast as well. I will always be sharing it through social media as well, so that's good to kind of follow me on some of those if you want to get notifications to when a new podcast is posted. I can't wait to dive into this new adventure, this new podcast adventure. Thank you so much for listening, you guys, and I will catch you on the next Chit Chat with Cass. Bye now.